The intake is meant to be a thorough account of all aspects that may have influenced the client's particular strengths and current struggles. They are detailed, and while I recommend following the same format for every intake, I also encourage flexibility to meet the client's needs. This is one way to perform an intake session, but certainly it is not the only way. Hi, Mallory. It's nice to meet you.
Hi.
Today we're just going to take about half an hour or so. I'll ask a bunch of questions. Before we begin, I want to address a couple things right off the bat so I don't forget. Everything is confidential except if I have any reason to be worried that you might hurt yourself or somebody else, then I'll ask you a couple extra questions. And if I'm really not convinced that you're going to leave here and stay safe, then I would need to call 911 to make sure that you stay safe. If I have any reason to be worried about the welfare of a child, I would need to report that. I won't spring any of this on you. I won't surprise you with it. I'll let you know so that you're aware. And if you give me consent to talk to anybody, such as your doctor or an emergency contact, then I would share information with them as necessary.
Okay.
If there's anything that you don't want to answer today, just say I prefer not to answer that. I'm not going to pressure you, okay?
Okay.
So I'll check in with you as we go along to see how you're doing. Feel free to stop this at any point if it just feels too uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay? So, any questions about confidentiality?
No.
Okay. So what brings you in today?
I've just been feeling kind of stuck.
Okay. How?
There's things that I want to do in my life that I just can't get myself to start. Like I want to go back to school and finish my bachelor's degree. But I don't feel ready. I don't feel like I could do it.
What has you not feeling ready?
I didn't do well when I was in school. I ended up failing my classes and then I dropped out. And I'm really worried that if I go back, I'll fail again.
Okay.
So it makes me, I'm just not happy where I am. So I want to do that. I want to get my degree. I don't feel like worthy or that I am like living up to my potential, I guess, but I just don't seem to be able to get myself there.
Okay. You said you're not happy. On a scale of 1, a little unhappy, 10, severe depression. What number would you give the unhappiness?
Maybe like an 8.
So you're pretty unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you been feeling this unhappy?
This unhappy? Maybe a couple of months, maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
But I haven't been happy for a long time.
No? How long?
Maybe most of my life.
Oh, long time.
Yeah.
Is there anything that helps you feel better?
Being outside.
Okay. Must be hard for you now.
Yeah, and I don't really even on the nicer days, like when we had those warm days a few weeks ago, I just stayed inside. I couldn't really get myself outside, and that made me feel bad that I couldn't do something that I like to do.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that helps you feel better for the days when it's crappy outside?
I like listening to music or painting, but I don't, I'm not working right now, so I don't have money to buy like supplies or paints.
Okay. What do you hope to get from therapy?
To feel better. I don't want to feel as sad. I want to feel more motivated.
Okay.
Maybe find out why I can't just do the things that I want to do.
Okay. Do you have any ideas? No?
No.
Okay. Is there anything you hope doesn't happen in therapy?
I hope I don't leave here feeling worse.
Okay. So sometimes when people start therapy, they do feel a little worse at first because you're talking about things that you might not want to talk about, or you're doing things differently in terms of coping. That's a healthier way to cope, but it doesn't feel as normal for you to cope in that way. So sometimes people do feel a little bit worse when they start therapy. So if that happens for you, what I would encourage you to do, if we do work together, if after this intake you decide that you want to come back, you think it might be a good fit, let me know when you feel worse so that I can support you in it. Okay? Usually that feeling worse starts to go away. Okay? Have you ever been in therapy before? When was that?
Kind of on and off since high school.
Okay.
And that's why I say I didn't want to feel worse, because there were times where I just felt like I'd go and cry and didn't really get anything out of it.
Okay.
But then there were times where I felt like it was helpful to talk to somebody.
Okay.
Because I don't have a lot of people to talk to.
What was most helpful in therapy when you, other than having someone to talk to, is there anything that the therapist did or that you found out about yourself that was most helpful for you?
When I felt like listened to and understood,
Okay.
that was helpful. And just getting like advice on like what I can try or what I can do to make things different.
Okay. And you said it wasn't helpful on the days that you felt like you just cried and left feeling worse than when you showed up. Okay. Is there anything else that wasn't helpful in therapy?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Do you take any medications right now, whether you're a doctor or psychiatrist? No?
No, I was on an antidepressant before.
Okay. Was it helpful?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it.
Okay.
It was when I was in high school.
Okay. So it was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you had any recent hospitalizations or emergency department visits because of anxiety or depression or
Not
anything
recent.
like that? Okay. How you doing so far?
I'm okay.
Okay. So you told me that you want to go back to school, that college was hard for you, and that you failed a class, or how many classes were you taking?
I was full-time. So like I think I had 3 classes that semester, and I wasn't going anymore. I just didn't feel well, so I wouldn't go to class and I wouldn't do my assignments.
Okay.
So I didn't do good in any of them.
Okay. What was high school like for you?
High school was okay. I did okay. I got good grades, but I skipped a lot.
What made you want to skip?
Just to hang out with my friends.
Okay.
They were bad influences.
Okay. It's kind of normal in high school, would you say? All right. Any learning struggles in high school? No? Ever been bullied in high school? No. Have you ever bullied anybody else?
No.
And you said right now you're not working, or are you working right now?
I was babysitting, but it's not consistent.
Okay. When was your most recent job where it was a consistent job?
Like a couple of years ago, maybe.
Okay. What'd you do?
I worked at a daycare.
Did you like it? What'd you like about it?
I like the kids.
Yeah. Anything you didn't like about it?
No.
Okay.
That was hard too. It got stressful, so I guess that was tough. There'd be days where we were like down a person, and I was in charge of like a lot of kids at one time.
Yeah.
So I'd wake up the next day and not really want to go in, or I would just feel really overwhelmed.
Okay. What would help you in those days that you felt overwhelmed?
I just didn't go and kind of take a break.
All right, you call in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any legal problems right now or in the past? Okay. How about substances that you might use? Alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes?
I smoke weed.
Smoke weed?
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Like a couple hits.
A couple hits a week?
Every night
Every
before
night.
bed.
Okay. When did you start smoking? When was the first time you ever smoked?
In high school.
Okay.
That was a lot of the skipping, was to be around the bad influence friends.
Okay. What happens when you don't smoke?
I don't know. I've been doing it a long time.
Okay. What makes you want to smoke before bed?
Just to feel relaxed and calm down.
Okay. Any other substances?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to go to chemical dependency treatment?
No.
No? Okay. Do you think you should cut down on your smoking?
Probably.
Okay. What makes you say that?
I don't like feeling like I need it.
Okay.
I get nervous when I don't have it, like, or when I'm running low and might not have the money or haven't had like a babysitting gig to go to. So like I get nervous about that, and that's annoying.
Okay. Have you ever felt annoyed by other people criticizing your smoking?
I don't know if anybody knows how much I do it.
Okay. So you kind of hide it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel guilty about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And do you ever need to smoke first thing in the morning to start your day?
No.
So tell me a little bit about your family. The family that you grew up with, mom, dad, siblings.
Mm-hmm. We used to fight a lot. We're from this area. It's me and I grew up with my mom and my dad and my sister, but my parents are divorced now.
Okay. When did they get divorced?
Like in high school, probably when I was like 12 or 13.
Okay.
So like middle school, high school.
What's your relationship like with mom?
It's tense. I live with her now. But she doesn't really respect my space.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go to my room a lot. She's a hoarder, so there's like just a lot of crap in our house.
Mm.
So I don't like being out in like the living room or the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time in my room, and I like it the way it is, and my mom will go in and move things around or say she's looking for something that I know and she probably knows isn't in there, so I feel like she's snooping.
Okay.
So we get into a lot of fights about it. I asked her if I could put a lock on my door, but she owns the house and I don't pay rent or anything, so she says I can't, and
Okay. That's gotta be hard.
it's frustrating.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
How about your relationship with your father?
I don't really talk to him.
When was the last time you really spoke with him?
I'll try to see him like when my sister comes into town. She wants to get the family together, so I might see him there, but we don't really talk.
Okay.
We'll just be around each other.
Okay. How about your sister? Is she older?
Mm-hmm.
What's your relationship like with her?
It's okay. We'll like text or talk on the phone, but it's mostly about like her stuff and her life and she's gonna get married to this guy. So she talks about the wedding. We don't really talk about my stuff.
What stops you from talking about your stuff with her?
I don't think she understands.
No?
Or if I tell her, she just is kind of critical. Like she's annoyed, I think, that I live with my mom, and kind of it feels like I'm mooching off my mom because I'm not working. So she'll ask, like, when are you going to get a job? When are you going to go back to school? And I don't think she understands how hard it is.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're mooching off mom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
Because I want to provide more, or at least pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really guilty that I'm like 30 years old and she has to take care of me.
Okay. Any other siblings?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Are you in a current relationship right now? A serious relationship? Romantic?
I'm like in an on again, off again
Okay.
relationship.
For how long?
A couple of years.
Okay. Are you on or off right now?
Off.
Off.
Mm-hmm. We got into a fight.
Mm. What do you like about this person?
I like going to his house to get away from my mom. And he listens to me.
So he kind of provides a little bit of like a reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything you don't like about him?
How much we fight.
Yeah.
And that when we can't agree on something, we just kind of stop talking.
Mm.
And sometimes I don't know when he's mad or when he's upset with me. So I'm just kind of, I don't hear from him. I don't know what's going on.
So is it like you make a conscious decision that we're not going to talk for a while, or does he just stop calling you, or how is it that you end up not talking after a fight?
He just doesn't answer. He won't text back and he won't call or pick up the phone when I call.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Mm-mm. I was pregnant, but I had an abortion like a year ago.
Okay. How are you with coping with that, or does that ever interfere with your life right now?
Well, sometimes I wonder just what it would be like if I didn't.
Okay.
I know I couldn't. That's why I did it. I can't take care of myself, so I didn't want to take care of a baby.
Okay. Felt like it was the best thing for you to do.
Yeah, but I have a lot of guilt around it.
Okay. Is that something that you would like to address in therapy?
Maybe.
Okay. Anything about your spirituality or your culture that would be important for me to know?
Mm-mm. I'm not really religious.
No?
And I kind of just a blend of different white people, so nothing exciting.
Okay. So you're not really religious. Is there anything that ever makes you feel, some people talk about spirituality in terms of feeling connected to the universe even, or some people say they feel very spiritual when they're digging in their garden, or what makes you feel most alive or connected with the world, I guess, or the universe, if anything?
I don't know, I guess when I'm like around kids it feels good. I don't know if that's like spiritual, but just to see like kids and the potential that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think something that makes you feel like you're in the zone, like this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, that and being outside.
Okay. Okay, so now, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're almost done. Just to get an idea of, in terms of any things that might be concerning risk-wise, I want to make sure that you stay safe during this whole process. Have you ever had any thoughts of suicide?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any currently right now?
No.
Okay. Have you ever attempted suicide? When was that?
In high school. I think I was 14.
Okay. And by what means? What did you do?
Took a bunch of my dad's pills.
And did you have to go to the hospital, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you admitted to the hospital?
They kept me a few days, and then I went to the partial hospitalization program.
Okay. Did you find partial to be helpful?
Yeah, at the time.
Okay. If you ever get to a time now where you feel like you're having those thoughts again, is partial something you would be willing to explore?
Maybe.
Okay.
I haven't like had thoughts like that since then though.
Okay. Any thoughts about violence? Any thoughts to be violent? No.
Mm-mm.
Any history of being violent?
Not me, no.
Okay. Do you have access to firearms?
Mm-mm.
And how would I know if you were feeling suicidal again when we're working together? Is that something do you think you would tell me, or?
I might tell you. I kind of just shut down.
Okay.
Like, I haven't really felt like suicidal, but I've had like a lot of thoughts of like giving up or not wanting to wake up.
Mm.
And I just kind of don't do anything. I just stay in bed.
Okay. So there might be times when I might just ask you straight out, is there any reason for me to be worried about your safety? Is there any reason for me to be worried that you might try to kill yourself? It's not going to be a knee-jerk reaction that if you say, yeah, I've had those thoughts recently, I'm not going to run right to the phone and call 911, just so you know. I would have a conversation about it.
Okay.
Make sure that you're going to stay safe. Any questions for me?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is that you're struggling with some relationship struggles with your boyfriend and your mom, not really close with your family, maybe not as close as you'd like to be with your sister at times, or you wish that she understood you some more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really what brought you in is wanting to do more with yourself, wanting to either do something with school or work, and kind of working through the barriers that get you motivated to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any anxiety around that? Is that part of, or is that some of the barrier, is feeling anxious?
Yeah, I worry I can't do it
Okay.
because I wasn't able to.
Okay. So it would make sense to think, for us to explore some of those thoughts that make you feel like you're not going to be able to do it. Maybe get some tools on how to manage the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, like when I think about it, like I just feel really tense and like I don't like that feeling of, like I just feel nervous.
okay.
And so I know I don't do it. Like I've had the application to go back for a long time and I just don't do it because I don't like the feeling when I have the application like in front of me ready to fill out.
So the application itself brings up some anxiety for
Yeah.
you. Okay. So could even get to a point where maybe you might want to bring the application in here and kind of work through the anxiety of just having the application with you in here.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm also thinking maybe a little bit of maybe some assertiveness on ways to communicate your needs to your mom, or even find other ways to get your needs met if mom's not going to hear you when it comes to your privacy and stuff like that.
Okay.
So if you don't have any other questions for me, I think I would be a good fit to work with you. If that's something that you would like to go forward with, then we could schedule an appointment. And if you're open to that, I would just say if you have any questions in between now and the next time we meet, jot them down so that we don't forget to address them, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. It was very nice to meet you.
You too.